Hey everybody, I'm Johnny, and today we are taking a look at my favorite watch in the whole world under $500. That's the Seiko Samurai. This is model SRPB51. Honestly, if I could have just one watch under $500, this would be it by a long shot. Let's zoom in and take a closer look. Looking up close, we see the X over the 6 o'clock, which means, of course, this is part of the Prospex series. The Prospex series, as the name implies, simply means professional specifications. So the Seiko is designed as a tool first and foremost, and not as a fashion piece, which means diving and functionality comes first. But of course, I'll argue that this is one of the most attractive tool watches on the market. Seiko Samurais were first built in 2004, and this is the 2017 Samurai, which remains as always a well-built, well-priced, and no-nonsense watch. Despite being a few years old now, it remains a well-selling watch and a watch I bought new in 2020. Realistically, you should be able to find this watch around $400 American online, sometimes less if you can find it on sale. Movement on the Seiko is a 4R35 movement, very standard movement, 41-hour power reserve, and does have a manual wind function. Case is 44 millimeters, thickness is 13 millimeters, lugs are 22 millimeters. Lug to lug, we are around 48 millimeters. The dimensions of this watch give it that distinct square look if you look at it head on. I really love the angles of the crown guard. The angles on this watch almost remind me of sloping steel armor you'd see on an armored vehicle, or even on the personal armor you might see on a Samurai perhaps. Surfaces are brushed, polished on the back. Always love seeing that Seiko Tsunami on the back there. Crown has a really lovely texture that makes it a joy to wind, and the face is just plain and not signed. Looking at the bracelet, I think this watch is well suited to this metal bracelet, giving the sharp lines of the watch. So I'll leave it as it is. I've seen this with leather or rubber, and that's an option and it can look okay, but I do think it looks most attractive with the steel option. You have a simple double push button clasp, and you can see on the back there too that there is an extension for a wetsuit if you're wanting to wear this over a wetsuit. Let's take a look at the dial. I absolutely love this sort of waffle golf ball textured dial. It gives it even more depth and texture to the watch, and I find it gives it that more industrial or tool-like feeling. I love the big chunky markers, making this watch extremely easy to read. On the 12 o'clock, you have an even larger marker, which is symbolic of a shield, I believe, which goes with the hour hand resembling an arrow and the minute hand resembling the sword, hence the Samurai moniker. Looking at the bezel, it's a 120 click unidirectional. It's a very prominent bezel on this watch, and it sticks out significantly. Easy to turn, has a great texture. On the 12 and 6 o'clock and the 9 o'clock positions, the bezel hangs slightly over the edge of the case, making turning it even easier. So you'll be turning this all day. It's really easy to turn, quite a pleasurable movement. One feature to note is the bezel does protrude above the glass slightly, which has the benefit of protecting the hardless glass. However, this does mean that water doesn't run off as easily, and dust is more likely to stick to your watch when you're wiping it clean, which is literally my only point of contention on this watch, but it's hardly worth mentioning. The markers on this bezel, for the first 15-minute markers, you have these chunky gray markers, and I think they look fantastic. I've heard this called by a few people the Ghost Samurai due to these gray colors, and I think that's a pretty cool name. You can get this in Pepsi and other colors, but for a watch like this, I personally prefer the understated colors, which draws more focus on the unique shape of the watch over the color. Now taking a look at the Lume, which is extremely impressive on this watch, and I apologize, my camera is obviously trying to focus on the ticking second hand, but it is impressive nonetheless. Thanks for watching this quick review on the Seiko Samurai. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.